Hello everyone, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. Hopefully today's inspections will be very uneventful because I'm already running quite late. Last week a few things happened. The flow finally started, so we got a good solid few days of sun. So the flow started, so starvation hopefully will be at a minimum. Some of the colonies that I went through, because I did some queen rearing this week, had quite a lot of nectar coming in, so that's a really positive thing to see. That's what we want to see, because I hate feeding, especially at this time of the year, because last thing you want to do is for any of the food that you give them to end up in the honey that you sell. So last thing you want to do is feed them anything. But fortunately it seems to be that the flow has started, so I don't have to worry about that anymore, fingers crossed. Also last week, this colony over here had formic pro on it. This week I wanted to go through it and see if any issues have arisen, and if not, brilliant. I had a lot of interactions from my last video where I was showing myself using it. A lot of people were saying things like it's the wrong time of year to use it, which I don't understand, because looking at the instructions, it seemed that the instructions seemed to say that this time of year is fine to use it. I had people saying that it just caused like loads of bee death, loss of queens and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that is because of some other reasons, such as like maybe the temperature was too high when they used it, or I don't know. I'm not too sure. As I said, it's the first time I've used it, so I'm going to go through this colony and see how they are. Hopefully, because the flow started, they won't be as grumpy. It won't be as mean to me. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Anyway, I'm going to get cracking because I want to see what's going on in the apiaries. If you like this video, please think about liking it and subscribing to it. And if not, I hope you have an amazing day. Anyway, let's get cracking. So the weather is absolutely crap today. The heavens have opened and it's started to rain, so that's great. So all the bees are hiding inside their box. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seams. So this colony has shrunk slightly. That's because we're still looking for a queen, a mated queen. So this had a virgin queen. The colony had swarmed, even though it was tiny. And it did have a virgin queen that went out. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see actually, but right here we have lots of nectar coming in. So they're starting to build up the stores again. You can probably tell because if I shake it, you should see some liquid fall on top of the top bars. Some little droplets there. That's how you tell the difference between honey and nectar. Honey stays still, as you can see. The ones here are still. The looser bits here have all fallen out. So this colony, we're looking for eggs. If there's no eggs in here, then we need to start looking for a frame of brood in one of the other colonies to give to this colony. So I'm going to use my little torch because it's really dark today and miserable. So we've got lots of nectar being put in, if you can see that here. Still no eggs though, not that I can see, but I wouldn't expect there to be eggs on this frame anyway, seeing as the colony is so small. I'd be expecting to see eggs like here, right in the middle. But we'll keep looking. Never know, I've been surprised by queens before. Ah, we do have eggs. We have some eggs. Perfect. Right in here, this corner here. So, in the centre, sorry. And we have some young larvae here. So that means that the queen has come back from her mating run and has started laying. Now, at this point, without seeing the cappings, we don't know if she's been mated well or not. I'm just going to see if I can see her. It's really dark today. So I can't see her at the moment. So this is why having a torch is really useful, because like it is really dark. It's so overcast and I'm in the middle of a woods and it's also raining as well. So, oh, and this is full of eggs and larvae. Okay, so this queen is cracking on with it. She's doing a good job. So right in the center, don't know if you can see that. Right in the centre is loads of larvae, and then you're going around to eggs on the outside. So she's been going around, and we've got some nectar around the edges as well. So that's really good. We still do have some bees with dodgy wings. So there may still be a varroa problem, but since there's no capped brood at the moment, the varroa can't reproduce. So what I may do is let this queen have a bit longer to get more established and get used to it. It takes about 3 weeks for a queen that's just started laying to get the hang of laying, really. That's when you start seeing whether she has a good laying pattern. But this queen seems to be doing really well so far. She's doing good circles, so she's surprisingly good. Yeah, so she's doing proper circles, and she's laid up most of these frames so far. There's lots of nectar still coming in, so that's good. And what I'll do though is, once she's got a bit more established, a pheromone has started to be released properly, I'm going to probably do a varroa treatment on her if I can. Depending on how the Formic Pro is going, I may give her a Formic Pro blast, or I may look into getting an oxalic acid vaporizer and using that. So now I'm just having a nosy, seeing if I can find the queen. I can see that she's laid up this frame as well, so this queen is doing solid work. She's come back from mating flight, and she's just decided to go hell for leather, and these bees seem to be helping her out. So that's good. They're not starving like they were last week. And the queen's back, so this colony may bounce back super fast. No idea, we'll have to see. So with the nectar flow, the queen's going to overdrive when it comes to laying, especially the summer one for some reason. That's why a lot of beekeepers and bee farmers, they do supplemental feeding during the June gap, and they just give a one-to-one solution, which is the closest to nectar that you get. What that means is that during the dearth period, they are building up their colonies into absolute beasts. The reason I don't do that is, one, it costs money, and this is a very small operation, unfortunately, so I just can't afford it. And two, if anything goes wrong, so we have a particularly wet summer, which we have had in the past 2 years, it means that you have these massive colonies, and they're trapped inside the hives, and it means that you're pretty much feeding throughout the whole of summer, which again is another problem, especially when your operation size is the size of mine, which is very small. So the queen's in there, that's good. I'm glad to see that. We'll see if we can find her next time, but right now I'm not going to worry about it. Last week this colony had starved to death, so I replaced it with a nucleus colony. And right now I'm just going to see how the nuke's doing. I'm not expecting anything amazing. I'm not expecting to have expanded, because a lot of the flying bees flew off back to where the nuke was originally stationed, so this colony may have shrunk in actual fact. Now, if I remember rightly, this queen isn't particularly nice. These bees are quite angry little bees, so what I'm going to do is just give them a quick waft, because it is raining and bees don't like to be inspected in the rain. So I'm just going to give them a quick waft, tell them to calm down. Have a quick look. What I'm looking for is some eggs. So they've done a pretty good job. So this was full of dead brood from the starved out colony. Oh, there's the queen. The queen's right there. Can't really see her because it's so dark. And has she disappeared? And like that, the queen has disappeared. Well, I've seen the queen now, anyway. There she is. She's right there. You see her walking around with the green dot on the back, right there. There she is. That's a better way of doing it, isn't it? There we are. So she's gone on the edge. So the queen has migrated to the edge here, and all these cells are drawn out, so that's cool. So I've seen the queen, I've seen eggs, and my hand's getting battered. Go away. I'm going to be very careful putting this in because I'm not sure where the queen's gone, and I think she went to the side, to the edge, so you have to be very careful not to squish her. Go on. I'm just going to... So the alarm response in this colony is really sensitive. These bees do not like my hands. So I'm just going to have a quick look on the edge, make sure I can't see her. Doesn't mean she's not there, it just means I can't see her. As long as I can't see her, I'm going to slowly lower this in. Because there's loads of bees clumped on the edge there. I do not want to crush that queen. So on the other side, there's no bees at all, so I'm going to slowly lower it down on that side, like that. I'm just going to wiggle it so the bees know that the gap is closing. There you are. So I've seen the queen. I'm just going to give it a quick inspection. These guys probably aren't going to swarm because they're a small colony. They're up to here. They've got a few frames left. Come on, knock it off, guys. Remember, if you're getting battered, smoke yourself. You can smoke the bees all you want, but they fly around like loonies. Whereas if you're smoking yourself, you smell something that they don't particularly want to sniff. Oh, and the alarm pheromones that have been placed on you get disguised. So this is good frame. That's got some brood in it, cat brood. So this queen's probably decided that she's going to go into overdrive now that the summer flow has started. Oh. Which means that all these small frames of brood will probably get replaced soon with big frames. Can you see that? Battering me. They're not stung me yet. I always say that and they always get stung. So smoke yourself and the bees will clear off. These guys aren't particularly nice. I may have to replace the queen once my mated queens have come back. So what I'm looking for now is any signs of disease, which I can't see. And I'm going to be looking for queen cells just quickly. I'm not expecting these guys to swarm. If they do, that'd be... Ah! So these guys are really not happy. I've just been stung on the hand, right there, and it really hurt. Ah, go away. So remember, if you get stung, smoke the area quite well. Hopefully you've got a bit of warmth coming from your smoker. The heat dulls the pain slightly. So I don't get bad reactions anymore, still feel the pain. But I don't get super bad reactions anymore. I used to get stung and my whole arm would swell up. So I can't really see anything that's going on there, but it's because it's so dark. So I'm going to turn this on. Go away. I'll just see if I can see anything. Oh, there's loads of larvae. Yeah, she's laid up this whole frame. So this queen's gone into... Oh, no, she's there again. There she is. Can you see her? How she managed to migrate from there? Oh. This queen is a magician. She's dying to be found. Right. Oh, yeah, this colony is nasty. Go away. Most colonies chill out when the flow starts. So the flow has definitely started because all these frames have nectar in them. But this colony is just angry. And I do not like angry colonies. I like my inspections to be free, easy and relaxing. Angry bees do not make for a relaxing inspection. And unfortunately, the only way to fix angry bees is to replace the queen. Right, I'm going to go to the angry hive now. I've been stung. Ow. Right, next. This colony's got another week of the Formic Pro to go. That's a 2-week treatment. They say most of the treatment's been done in the first 3 days, but it's good to... Okay, just making sure there were bees there because I couldn't see any. And usually these guys come out to say hello to me. Go on, calm down. So this colony has another week to go. As you can see, all the bees are really clumped in here. I wonder if this will cause them to want to swarm, because they don't have a huge amount of space now. I took the super off. I think that's something that I'm going to be very conscious of anyway. So these guys are coming straight out to my hand. They really don't want me to be here. I think it's the weather really that's causing this, most of all. So it is absolutely lashing it down over there. I'm quite lucky where I am because it's quite covered with the trees. It makes it exceptionally dark, but it means that the rain doesn't actually fall here when it's raining. So something interesting is that with the nectar flow, bees have finished drawing out these frames and have started doing honey. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to mark these frames that they had treatments on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a quick star. Now technically, in America, they're fine to use honey soup. The formic acid just dissipates after a few days, a few weeks. So technically I should be fine using this with fresh honey in it, but I don't really want to. I just I don't want to risk it really, so I'm just going to do some little stars. These bees are really not happy with the rain. Oh, wait. Right. Sorry, I'm going to take this off. Yeah, these guys have not calmed down because of the flow. Right. So what I want to see, some things I do want to see with this Formic Pro. Oop, it's stuck. This Formic Pro stuck there. Hang on. Oop. So that is dry, so it feels dry. So I think the treatment is probably finished, to be honest. Before it felt wet, whereas that now feels pretty dry. So I am going to keep it on. I'm just going to have a quick look. Let's see how the bees react to it. Do they move away from it? Yeah, so there's still some formic acid in there. You can see how they're reacting to it. So I'm just going to smoke these a bit. I'm going to take some frames out from here and just see if I can find any eggs. So what I want to see is I want to see eggs. I want to see cat brood, and I also want to see larvae, because people were saying that it killed the capped cells. It killed the larvae. And it killed the queen. So what I'm looking for is eggs to prove that the queen is still here. I'm looking for capped cells. So there's lots of capped cells there. Lots of capped cells there. Can't see any eggs, but I can see lots of caps and lots of nectar. So I'm not sure if... And there's loads of capped brood there as well. So I think the queen will be a bit more central. So I'm going to move this here. So these bees are really not happy with me, as you can tell, because you'd hate it if someone lifted the roof off your house when it was raining. The temperature's not too bad, to be fair. It's about 17 degrees, which for the UK is warm. That's like our summer. Just having a look. So that's a really good frame of pollen. I'm tempted to nick that from a queen rearing nuke. Yeah, why not? Just shake the bees off. Give that to my queen rearing nuke. Back in a second. Right, I'm back. So recently I've been having trouble trying to find colonies with pollen in, just because there's not been a lot of pollen around us, which means that queen rearing is a bit harder than usual this year. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this again. And I'm going to start checking the top boxes, because I don't think the queens come down here at the moment. So I'm just going to move these bees away from this box side here, because I don't want to squish anything. I know they're particularly nasty bees, but I don't want to hurt anyone. Come on, away. Good girls. Right. Slowly slide down. There we go. Right. So as you can see, the colony has moved up here. So I've not seen the eggs yet, but I didn't really give it a proper look downstairs because they were getting a bit nangy with me. So I'm going to have a look upstairs instead. So a couple of weeks ago, the queen was here. So I'll have a look at this frames. Full of nectar. Full of nectar. Queen rearing has started for me now, so it means that angry queens like this, the days are numbered. It's pollen, nectar, nectar again. So we've still not seen any eggs. Lots of nectar. And this is clearly where there was some brood, because there's still some cat brood around the outside there. So they filled it with nectar. So maybe it has killed the queen. There's still some cat brood here. So the benefit of Formic Pro is that it hits the varroa that are capped, so that are in capped cells, as well as the open larvae as well. So that's the benefit of Formic Pro. Other ones like oxalic acid, Apigard, they only hit open cells. That's why the treatment is so long. So I can see some larvae. So there's some larvae here. It's drone larvae, but it's still larvae. All the same. And there's some over here that's actually worker brood. So you can tell that from the size of the cells. I'm just going to see if I can see any eggs. Yeah, so I can see eggs. There's eggs in here, so there's eggs there. So the queen is still about. And there's some very young larvae as well. So it doesn't seem to have affected them too much. Hopefully they will be bouncing back. Ah! So we found a problem. That there is a queen cell. So what I said was it's really tight, and it's going to create a swarm. Might have forced them to create some swarm cells. It seems I was right. So that is nearly capped. It's not capped yet. Let's open it up and see what it's like. Yeah, so that is a very small larvae. So they've sorted the capping out, but they haven't actually fed her up yet. So this colony is trying to swarm because of the Formic Pro. So that to me is very annoying. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to go through all of the colony. I have to shake off frames, and I'm going to have to find any queen cells I can. So that means I'm probably going to get stung. So, and it's also going to put more time on my bloody clock. Which is really annoying, because I really wanted today to be uneventful. Oh! Right. Let's start again. Ugh. Now, if I find the queen, which I don't know if I will do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her out and put her in a nuke with some frames of bees. Then I'm going to leave them to create a queen, or I may leave a queen cell if I find one that looks particularly good. So I'm going to put these to the side for now. Right, I'm going to get battered here. I'm going to use a lot of smoke, so sorry if you can't see anything. We're just going to go frame to frame and check for queen cells. I'm not going to really look for the queen. I'm going to use the queen excluder method that I showed you. I'll go, so that's empty, so I'll just move that to the side so I've got some more space. So that's just nectar. I'll shake it out anyway, just to be sure. So the only way to make 100% sure that you are seeing all the frames is by shaking all the bees off. It's disrupting for the bees, but unfortunately it's what you need to do when you're trying to find queen cells. I didn't do that the other day when I was looking at me nukes, and there was a queen cell. And I don't know if you've seen that video or not. But I found a load of queen cells from a nucleus colony that I was trying to put into the place of another colony that had died from starvation. So that was annoying. Right, so this is actually follow eggs. This probably isn't going to be very interesting, so I may skip this and make it speed up or ignore it. Not decided yet. Now, I'm not sure if it's the Formic Pro that's caused this wanting to swarm from bees, or if it's the confined space, because I did take a honey super off them, so they have been confined to a smaller box than they were wanting. So it could be that that's caused the swarm response. Look at that for a frame of brood. Wow. Ah, queen cell. It does have an egg in it. So, squish it. Move the egg. So this colony is probably going to swarm no matter what I do. So that's why I need to find the queen. So I'm going to find all the queen cells now. There's plenty of brood in all of these boxes, so I'm not too fussed. Find all the queen cells now. Go on, calm down. Get down. And then that means I've given myself a 2-week window in which I can find the queen before they start swarming. Now what I can do is keep knocking the cells down, but that again just opens up that window just a little bit longer, and the bees will just take the hint and just go. So this is absolutely jam-packed with queen cells. We've got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. So this one is absolutely jam-packed. So another thing is, I don't particularly want this queen to duplicate, because yes, she's creating a lot of honey for me, and the bees are doing great. Oops, getting smoked. And the bees are doing really well. So this is a monster colony. But these are horrible bees, really mean, and I don't really want that to be propagated. I've got much nicer bees, especially at the other site, that I'd much rather propagate instead. So I'm going to try and do that instead. So when doing this, it becomes really disruptive. As you can see, all these bees are everywhere. They've all come to the surface like, what the bloody hell's going on? I'm going to start shaking them over here. Okay. So don't worry about the bees being all over the place. They will come back into the hive. Any on the outside will walk back through the entrance. There's nothing to worry about. So this is full of larvae as well. So this queen doesn't, it doesn't really matter if this queen is taken out with a few frames of brood and stuff like that. There's so much brood and there's so many bees that I don't think this colony will miss out much on losing her and the 2-3 weeks that it takes for a new queen to be made. Just check. Just food. Right. So this bottom box is now being checked. So I'm going to smoke them down. So these guys will definitely make their way back into the hive through the entrances. This colony has, this floor has 2 entrances, an entrance there and an entrance there. So they've got 2 points of ingress. Right. So I can put this frame back in. Ugh. So I'm confident that this bottom box does not have any queen cells in it anymore. So what I'm going to do is queen excluder over the top, so it means that if the queen was in there or is in there, she can't get back up. And if she's in one of these other boxes, she can't get down. So queen excluder. Again, don't worry too much about them being on the outside. They will budge themselves back into the entrance. So what you need to do is just be very, very careful. Just vibrate. And just keep going back and forth, and the bees will move out of the way eventually. Last thing you want to do is cause any extra harm to these guys. Just gentle, gentle. It's slow, but you've got to be careful, because these guys, they don't really know what's going on. The natural thing for these guys would be to swarm. So they're just doing what's in their nature, in essence. This is me not wanting to lose half my colony. That's the reason why this is occurring. This isn't bad for them, this is just natural for them, this is how they reproduce. So, right. Just going to give them a quick waft because I don't want anyone to get hurt. Again, just before you drop it, just give it a quick wiggle. It should move out the way. So, there's quite a few bees there, and I don't want them to get hurt, so I'm just going to scoop them best I can into their colony, or into their box. Right. So I've not closed that completely in the gap there, so there's enough space for the bees to walk out. So another trick is with this J tool, as long as it's a blunt one, just get down there, and just gently guide them out if you can. Like so. That's clear. And close it up. Right. I started on this one, so I may as well finish this one. Right. So, nothing, just nectar. This is the one. This is the side that I found queen cell originally. So I busted it open, but I didn't actually get rid of it. So, pollen, nectar. It would actually be quite fortuitous if the queen was in one of these two boxes, because then the nuke is already made up that I need to take away. I can just replace it with another one of these boxes. So check this out. Let's have a quick look. Can't see any queen cells there. Can't see any queen cells there. Ciao, love. Come on. There we go. Right. So I think this is the frame with the queen cell. Oh, there's another one over there. Wow, look at the size of that. That's the same one. No, it's not. So there's the queen cell that I found before with the tiny larvae in. Let's get the larvae out. The really long ones. So really long ones like that they usually occur when the larvae was here originally, and what's happened is that you've shaken the frame and the larvae just got stuck in the end of the cell, so the bees have just elongated it to to deal with that. But yeah, has to go, unfortunately. Sorry, love. Oh, that rain is really coming down now. Wow. Come on, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Move them out of the way. Last frame for this box, and all the bees are on it. So I just need to give it a quick puff. So the alarm response for these guys is probably going absolutely ape crap. Ape poo? Doolally? crazy. It's going nuts anyway. So these guys are completely on full alert at the moment. They're trying to figure out what the hell's going on because the box has been moved. So I've just remembered that I have those Formic Pro things to go in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on top of the queen excluder. Because the queen excluders I have are plastic, they sit flush with the frames. Flush with the tops of the frames. It's a bottom space box. So there's actually about 8-10 mil space at the bottom there, underneath the frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them on top of the queen excluder. So I'll do that one now. Budge the bees out of the way so they don't get squished. Up you go, in you go, down you go. And no one got hurt. Good. I'll do the same for this. Up you go, in you go, and down you go. Right, so now I'm doing this box, and then I'll have to do the super, and then I really have to rush. So fun when things don't go the way you want them to. Oh, these bees are really not happy, as you can see. It's mad that these guys haven't actually stung me yet. I know saying that I always get stung, but for the amount of bees that are pinging off me and dislodged and annoyed and figuring out what the hell's going on, these guys haven't actually stung me yet. Nothing. Oh. So you may see me twitch my hand a bit. That's because I can feel the bees starting to try and sting me. So when a bee's trying to sting you, it flaps its wings very, very quickly because it's trying to stabilize itself for it to stick its butt dagger in your hand. So when I flick it like that, it just dislodges them slightly. I'm just checking this box because this is where the queen was last time, and it's a very slim chance that she's still going to be in this box, but just it is full of eggs, so it would be interesting if she's still in this box. Look, now she has a green dot I put on her. Oh, this has got loads of queen cells on it, so I'll shake this off. Oh, so beekeeping monster colonies like this, it's awesome when there's no problems. When there's problems, oh, absolute nightmare. So this is one of the reasons why I don't like the Demarest split. Because a lot of the time you're guaranteed queen cells in the top box. So Demarest split is when you take the brood box and move it up to the top and put a fresh box that's empty on the bottom. Empty brood and so like that, and then you shake all the bees in. So it means that the queen and her bees are being moved into an empty box. So it gives them the feeling that they've swarmed. So it means that it gets rid of that swarm response, or the feeling of swarming. It also gives them loads of space as well. So it does turn them into monster colonies, but the top box always has swarm cells, or always has emergency cells in it, just because they can't smell the queen's pheromone in the bottom box anymore. These that go up in there to feed the brood. So it's guaranteed to have queen cells. And queen cells, it's fine knocking them down all the time if you've got the time. But going through 30 colonies and constantly searching for queen cells. And sometimes if you don't catch them right, then the bottom box also starts making queen cells because they've still got the swarm response. And it was just an absolute bloody nightmare when I did it. So No queen cells. No queen cells. Right. Time to blow these guys down. Let's cross. Like that. Out of the way, girls. Come on. I don't need to get hurt. Right. So, I need another queen excluder. As you can see, all the bees from the bottom have made their way up. I hope. Otherwise, this box is going to be full as well. But understandable, but why it's so swarmy. I'm going to go with this way first. This way, because there's less bees on that corner, so it's a bit easier to budge them. Go on, girls. Watch out. So as I said, just little vibrations, just little nudges to tell them that something's here, and they'll budge out of the way. And try and keep this flat against the top bars as well. Puffed you down because you guys have come up for some reason. Down you go. There you go. Oh, don't sting me. You guys have done so well so far. Better than that little nuke over there for the angry bees. Come on. So if your queen excluder lifts up like that, and just do some little taps, does the same as wiggling, and then gently place this on. Try not to get anyone underneath. So this colony is everywhere. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of it, I'm going to scoop all the bees that I can onto this crown board, and then I'm going to put them inside the top box. That's how I'm going to deal with all these bees. They will make their own way in, but you always worry, don't you? So, right, let's squeeze them out. They are making their way in there, to be fair. But right, queen cells. There's one right there, one that I missed. Oh, that piece of rain, that water droplet just went right down my back, so that was fun. And that's empty. I'm just going to leave that there to give me some space. So I'll look at you, shake you off. I can't imagine the queen being in the top box, but who knows. There's queen cells up here, so she must have been, and there's definitely brood up here, so she could be up here, who knows. So if I were to find the queen, what I'd do is I would just replace one of these boxes. I'd put her in one of these boxes and take it away and put a floor and a roof on it so it's its own little nuke. And then that's that job done. Crazy amount of queen cells in this hive. Again, I don't know if it's the Formic Pro that's caused this or the reduction in size, so I'm not going to landblast Formic Pro for this, because this could just been because I reduced the size of the colony. But I needed to, because I needed to stop the honey super that was relatively full of honey from getting contaminated. Stop trying to sting me, you. I think there might be just 3 or 4 bees that are just particularly trying to sting me. The rest seem to just be trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Shake you off. There's loads of brood up here, actually. Maybe the queen is up here. Loads of honey. If you were a nicer queen. So I don't know if I've said this before, but technically it's not actually the queen that says how violent or how angry a colony is. It's actually the drones. But I still don't want to risk it, really. Look at that frame of brood, wow. So, when to add a new box is pretty much what I should be doing now, but because of the Formic Pro I'm not doing. You add a new box when the bees have filled out the majority of a super. So when these boxes are full and you have this super on top which is collecting the honey, if you see them and they're like say on 8 seams, I'd put another box on top or underneath. It doesn't really matter. I think on top helps if there's a big nectar flow, so it's coming in really thick and fast because the bees will go straight up. You can do it underneath if it's a particularly nasty frame. So the supers that I've been putting on, they've been having a bit of issue because there's so much humidity during winter here that some of the frames have gone a bit manky, and they need cleaning up by the bees. So I think this is just food. Sorry, I thought some queen there. Some brood, some eggs. So this queen's gone everywhere. Yeah, so I've destroyed every single queen cell that I could find. There could be one that's just lurking somewhere that I've missed, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to smoke these down gently, because if there's honey here, I don't want to smoke it. I'm not going to be using this honey. So this honey, because it's had Formic Pro on when this honey was created, what I'm going to be using it for is for feeding colonies during winter. So what I'll do is when this super is full of food and it's all capped, I will move it to my shed, and I'll put a cover over the top, cover on the bottom, and that'll remain there until winter. And it means I don't have to feed a colony. I still have a whole super of honey, which is pretty much all. Oh, that rain's coming down now. It's pretty much all the colony really needs when it's not a buckfast. So buckfast colonies are really hungry. So you have to feed them quite a lot more compared to just random mongrels, and the majority of my colonies are mongrels. I did try for buckfast, as you saw, and it didn't really work out, so I think I'm just going to stick to mongrels. My rainford mongrels seem to do quite well, especially in winter. The majority of the deaths that I got this year from winter were, I think it was a carniolan and a couple of buckfasts that I got last year. Now don't get me wrong, buckfasts are amazing at collecting honey. They do a great job at collecting honey. It's just a very hungry breed. And you need to keep feeding them. Or they will definitely starve during winter. I've also not had good luck with buckfast when it comes to mating. I don't know why. They just didn't seem to want to mate very well. So all I'm doing here is there's loads of bees on the side. It doesn't really matter, they would make their way back into the colony, but I thought I'd give them a hand. Ooh, I'm stuck to the fence. So all I'm doing is I'm just nudging them off the edge, off the side, onto the crown board, and I'm just going to push them back into the top box. It means that if the queen is here, there's less danger of her being lost. Oops. All I'm doing is I'm just scraping it along the wood. It will knock them. It doesn't hurt them though, so don't worry. Look at that. Huge colony. Move this out of the way so I've got a bit more room. Oh, and then I've got a load of stuff I need to do. I'm dreading looking at the time. Ooh, falling over. Right, so that's the majority of the bees that aren't flying back in. Ooh. So what I want to do is I want to smoke them down and then put this crown board on top if I can. Right. So the roof I've got is one that overhangs, so I'm going to just be very careful with these bees on here. I don't want to squish anyone. Right. Slowly lower this on, and hopefully they'll move out the way. Come on, girls, smudge. Smudge out the way, come on. Okay. So the reason that this is a half crown board in essence is because I use it on these boxes as a crown board for the nukes. Grab these as well while I'm at it. Don't want anyone to be hurt, please. Place that in. Gently, gently, catch a monkey. Come on, watch out. Dodge out the way. I remember what I said about the hook of this. Just gently, just go through and just nudge them out. Nudge them out the way. Come on, out the way. Once they're out the way, you can close it. There we go. So I'm going to leave the holes of this crown board open just because there's a lot of bees on top. And I don't want them getting hurt and getting trapped away. So, and there's a big recess in the bottom of this box. So, slowly, gently. Any bees in the way should move. Okay. So each layer has a queen excluder. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes the queen can be in. So I'm going to leave it a week because if they produce more queen cells, they're not going to want to swarm within a week. So the queen will be in one of these boxes next time I come. Whichever box it is, I want to lift off and take away and put on another floor and give it another roof and replace with another box for this. By that time, the Formic Pro will have finished as well, so it means that everything's been treated. The queen's been treated as well, so all the frames that the queen's on have been treated, so it should be fun-dabby-dozy. Right, let's hurry up onto the other ones. Well, that was eventful anyway. Right then. Hopefully these will be nice quick inspections. Oh, smoke. Where nothing has occurred other than they've found nectar source and have started to collect a load of food. Oh, that's a good sign. Whoa, okay. So this colony is quite full. So when you find a colony like that and it's filling up a box, especially when the next flow is on, it's time to add a super. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just smoke them down. I'll give them a quick inspection first, just to make sure there's no queen cells and make sure that they have actually got need for space. Oh, that's a stiff frame. Right, okay, here we go. Oop, the bees are out. So that is nectar. There's loads of nectar there. Loads of nectar there. So, as you can see, when I shake them, droplets of nectar come falling off. So these guys have found that the nectar flow started. So that means that they need space ASAP. So what I'm going to do is go through it, obviously, as I said, but I'm going to put a super on top. Now, I'm not going to put a queen excluder on straight away because the supers that I've got are still dirty. So they'll want to clean that first. And the best way of doing that is having it next to brood. Because if you put frames that are dirty next to brood, the bees want to clean it as much as possible. And they'll do it as quick as possible as well. And when there's a flow on, they've got the energy and the wherewithal to do it as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on top, and then in a week or so, once I've started filling it, I'm going to shake all the bees out to make sure the queen's not in. Then I'm going to put a queen excluder underneath, and possibly another soup underneath, depending how full it is. So I'm just having a look, see if I can see the queen. She's got bright green dots. This is one of the surviving imported queens. So she has a bright green dot. Hand it to her. But I'm also going to check, make sure there's no queen cells as well. So quick check for the queen. Can't see luminous green, so shake. And then now I can get a good look at what's going on. So this is full of nectar as well. So they've got 3 frames full of nectar. So these guys definitely need some space. They found a nectar source and they're just filling up the box. So if I was to leave them like this, they'd fill up the bottom with nectar, fill up all the cells so the queen can't lay, and then they'd want to swarm. That's a swarm impulse because the box is too small for the colony. So I'm going to shake them off. Couldn't see the queen. And can't see any eggs yet. See 1 very small, 2, 3 small larvae. Can't see any eggs. Oh, there we are. I've got some eggs on the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eggs. It's not a huge amount of eggs. Granted, the flow only started a few days ago. And this imported queen is from... I don't know what she's from, actually. I think she's from Portugal. So maybe she needs more of a flow, more heat to start laying. I'm not sure. Quick check for the queen. Quick check for the queen. Can't see her. Can you? Quick shake. And we're going to check here. So she's laid up this frame quite nicely, I think. Every time. Yeah, so we've got lots of eggs here, and they're interspersed with nectar. So the bees are bringing in nectar faster than the queen can lay, which is normal when it's a decent flow. And this area here, where I have this apiary, has a really good nectar flow in summer. It's a wildlife sanctuary, and they have, first of all, loads of brambles, like just stacks of brambles, and it seems that the bramble flowers have all come out in force at the moment. And also they have a wildflower meadow, which is like an acre, so they have stacks and stacks of flowers. It's really good. Still can't see the queen. Not too worried yet. I've seen eggs, so she can be replaced if she's dead. Again, it's not a huge amount of brood, like capped brood, but the flow's only just started. So let's hope that she starts getting into gear. I can already see that this has got quite a few eggs in it. So it's got quite a few eggs and some larvae. So maybe she's just getting into the rhythm. You've seen some of my other colonies, and the queens have laid up full frames of eggs already. Look for the queen. There she is. Luminous green dot. Go away. So I'm not going to shake this frame yet. I'm just going to have a quick look at it. So there's too many bees on here, so I can't see anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the queen, just move her onto a different frame out of the way, and I'm going to shake these bees. Hi, Queenie. There we go. There she is, and down she goes. So the queen is now on this frame over here. So I can shake this frame off. But you can shake the queen off. It doesn't do too much harm. It's just in case. So there's a queen cup, I hope. Yes, that's a queen cup. So it means that the bees are starting to talk about wanting to go. There's another one. Yeah, queen cup. So if you see a queen cup and it's got an egg in it, it's technically a queen cell, but it doesn't automatically mean that the bees are wanting to go. Sometimes they just make queen cups and the queen gets a bit over-enthusiastic. Check some bees over there. This is full of larvae and nectar as well. So, as I was saying, sometimes it just means that the queen got a bit over-enthusiastic what'll happen is the bees will go, oh, we don't really want to swarm, and they'll tear it down. So don't worry too much. Okay, so this frame is absolutely full of eggs. Not this side though. So this side is completely full of eggs. So it means that she started on this side and was working away that way. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, nectar, no queen cells. So we're going to push this back up over here. I'm going to put a super on it because these guys are in need of space. So as soon as there is nectar starting to fill the brood area, and by that I don't mean the outside frames. Sometimes you can have nectar here on the outside frames, that's fine, don't worry about it. But as soon as it's in the middle where the queen is wanting to lay, you want to give them space. You want to give them that space to be able to move up and move that nectar out of the way. Because foragers will come in, they'll spit the nectar out and they'll fly off again, and it's up to the bees inside the hive to pick that back up and bring it up. But these guys, they've got nowhere else to put it but to put it in here, and the foragers are coming in, spitting out and going, and they've got nowhere else to put it. So I'm going to give these guys a super. Might even give them another brood box. I've not decided yet. See what we've got and what it looks like. So I'm going to give these guys another brood box. Why not? They deserve it. That'll give me a bit more time before they all want to swarm. There we go. Right. Put the lid back on. That one's sorted. Nice and easy. Ah, slugs. Blorp. Put that on so we don't get any bees out. Go on, watch out, love. Okay, that's that one done. Nice and easy. That's what we want when we're in a rush. We want to have nice, easy colonies. Nice, uneventful inspections. Eventful ones are fun, but for the most part, you can crack on. 3 left. Okay, so not a hive of activity as you'd expect. This was the first swarm of the season. I thought it was the original queen. Ah! Stung me already. I just opened. So I thought it was from my original colony, but when I found the queen not long after, I realised that it was actually a virgin queen. So this isn't one that I've bred. It's from my stock, but it's not one I've bred. So these guys have got some nectar coming in. There's some cap brood there. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for now, but I think I may have to requeen these guys. They're not doing amazing, but they're doing fine. Just making sure there's eggs. Not seeing any eggs yet, so I'm going to keep going. That's a good frame of bees. Just a quick look, see if you can see the queen. Boy, stop trying to sting me. So I can't see the queen, so I'm just going to shake them. So have a quick look. So there's a queen cup. There's a relatively new queen cup. So these guys are annoyed about something. And we've got some perforated cells here. So I think these guys are complaining that they've got some varroa. So what I might do is treat these with some formic probe for the flow. Well, the flow's started, but these guys aren't filling up the box yet, so it's less of a rush to give these a box to put on. Okay, so I've seen some eggs. Ah! Not particularly nice, to be fair. It's not what I like for my production colonies, so definitely not in the right place. I take it back to my quarantine apiary at some point, so I can requeen her. Oh, there's the queen. So the queen's here. Let's move that smoke out the way so you can actually possibly see. And she's here, so she's there with the green dot on her. Doo-doo. Move out the way so we can get a good look. There we go. There she is walking around on her own. So the queen is about. She's not big. She's not big and juicy. She's not the way I like my queens. But she's keeping them ticking along. The bees aren't particularly nice, so I think I'll be requeening her this season. What's wrong way? So I got asked by someone why I requeen colonies if there's nothing particularly bad about them. So you can have a colony that's just small like that and it's not doing anything. When you're a hobbyist beekeeper, that doesn't really matter because you're doing it for the hobby of looking after the bees, which is super enjoyable, and I highly recommend taking it up. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. One of my favourite things to do is look after bees. But as soon as you start going into the semi-commercial stage, you need to start looking into the cost of things. And unfortunately, like if you look at the colonies over there, which you will do in a bit, you'll see that they're on 4 or 5 supers high at the same time as this one, which is just on a brood box. It's not even filling the brood box. So to me, that shows that the queen is not of a caliber that I would like that colony to be having. I want a queen who will lay up this box, who will want to lay up a second box, who will want to lay up a third box if we gave a chance. I want a queen that has that get up and go, that energy. So when you're dealing with queens like this, she's not going to be producing the honey that you need to keep the business afloat, in essence. So that's why I replace queens that are just milling about, not doing the right lot. A lot of the time I do just give them away, so I do ask someone if they want a free queen. I tell them everything that's going on, that it's not a particularly great queen, but it's still a queen, because some people just need queens to keep the colony alive until they can requeen themselves. So it comes in handy that way, and it means that someone else gets a queen and she doesn't get seen off, and she gets to keep going. But yeah, that's pretty much why I replace queens quite regularly. Here are the last 2 imported queens. So these guys are actually in the top box this time. I was going to take it off last time, but I decided against it because I had a bit of food in. Ah! The alarm response was a bit excessive. So a way to stop the alarm response sometimes, if you've got a vented bottom, is to just puff smoke underneath the hive where the vented bottom is. This guy's go away. So what that does is it puts smoke in the bottom box, or if you do it around the entrance as well, it puts smoke in the bottom box. So it means that the ones near the smoke don't hear the alarm responses, the ones at the top. Because if you look at these guys, look at them, they're all jumpy. I don't like jumpy bees, so I like bees that I can move my hands around and they don't jump at me. These guys are a bit jumpy as far as I'm concerned, right? I've said the word jumpy about 100 times now, so I'm going to go into the bottom box. Whoa! That was stuck. I've caused a bit of upset there. Oops, sorry guys. This is one of the surviving imported queens. I've only got 3 that survived the trials of being introduced out of 10, so that was super disappointing. These bees are really not happy. It's not raining anymore, so, and it's quite warm. It's about 17 degrees, so it's summer for the UK. I don't know why these guys are pounding at me. Right, so this is a decent frame of brood. Nice frame of brood there, cap brood, as you can see. The dream of every beekeeper is to find a frame absolutely jam-packed with brood. Come on. Well, jam-packed cap brood. Makes for a good photo. So this queen's doing quite well, actually. So this frame... Go away. So this frame's doing quite well actually, because this frame is full of eggs on both sides. That's really good. Just move across. So this is a frame of drone brood, and I can see a queen cup. I'm not sure if it's queen cell yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye out for the queen. We're going to shake them all off as I go through. So I'll start with the one I've got out first. So we're looking for queen cells now. I'm not expecting it to be queen cells. I don't think it's particularly big enough, but there's a lot of queen cups, you see. So when I see that, I try and figure out why it's producing queen cups. A lot of the times it's just practice for when it's the big deal, but sometimes you can see things like perforated cells. Oops. So you can see these two here, perforated cells. Sometimes it can just be the bees are hatching, but if you look inside, there's still larvae in there. So that's an indicator of Varroa, so that means these guys may need a blast of Formic Pro as well, but they're doing quite well, so I'm loath to upset or rock the boat, as it were. So I'll shake these off. So drone frames, so frames with lots of drone cells are a nightmare when it comes to queen cells, because drone cells, they all stick out, so the frame's all higgity-piggity. So it means that these bees are really good at hiding queen cells amongst them, so always be really careful with drone frames. Sometimes it's best just to take the drone frames out once they're fully capped, because it's a good way of getting rid of Varroa. Because Varroa love drones. They prefer to go to drones than workers, because they can produce more Varroa inside those cells. So sometimes the best way to reduce the Varroa population is just to take drone frames out. And you'll be surprised by how many Varroa are wandering around in there. Right. So these guys have gone directly up rather than across, which is okay, it's fine. They're not ready for a super yet. Just checking for the queen. No luminous green. Shake. Good frame of brood. These bees are definitely pinging me. Check for the queen. No green. There she is. There's the queen. So, if you can see her, the big luminous green dot. Let's see if we go like that. Might be easier. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do what I did over there. I'm going to take her off frame, so I can shake it. Put her in here. There you go, love. Boom. Alright, so she's safely in the box over here, and the frames I've already shaken, so I'm going to shake these off and check. We don't want queen cells. Do not want them. But I don't trust these imported queens not to produce queen cells. This has got some brood. The pattern's not amazing, but I don't know. Do what you can. Okay, so that's the end of the brood area. So she's 4 or 5 frames of brood area. I'm just going to check this. I think this will be nectar mostly. Yeah, nectar. So they say Buckfast should fill 2 brood boxes, national brood boxes with brood. That's generally what they tell you to give Buckfast. A lot of mongrels you can just get away with giving them a brood and a half, so a brood and a super, and that should give them enough laying space to not want to swarm. But this Buckfast is not doing great. Go on, move out of the way. It's doing better than the other ones, I guess. Right, let's have a look. So queen's in the bottom box. I'm not expecting these to have anything other than slugs. Other than nectar. So that's nectar, I think. Yeah, nectar. Can't imagine her coming up here for brood. There's no eggs. No eggs, just nectar. No eggs. Just nectar again. That's honey. Feel the difference in weight. So honey, when it fills up the same space as nectar, feels twice the weight, maybe 3 times the weight. So they're cleaning this frame up. Okay. And putting honey in it. Cool. So yeah, they're doing alright. They're not blowing me away, but that's my own fault. I did a bad gambit at the beginning of the year and it backfired. But to me, beekeeping is all about experimentation. You always try and find something that works for you. May not work, may blow back in your face, but if it does, then it's just a learning experience. Best thing to do is not get upset by it. You can be annoyed. Being annoyed about something is perfectly fine. Getting upset, doesn't help anything, unfortunately. You need to try and think pragmatically on how to fix situations. Best way to do it. So this was the last of the Buckfast imported queens. Last time I was in here, she was doing naff all, really. I think she'd laid up 3 frames, and the bees were wandering around aimlessly. So the bees should have something to do now that the next flow started. So they should, yeah. So they're putting nectar in, so that's fine. That's good. But the queen should be more than what, 4 frames? I think I put 4 frames of brood, was it? Yeah, 4 frames of brood. So the queen should be doing more than 4 frames of brood now that the nectar flow has started. So these Buckfast aren't particularly nice. So that's a really good frame of nectar. So if these guys were filling out this box, I'd give them another one on top. Unfortunately, they're not. So this is a good frame of nectar and stuff as well. I may actually give them another box just so they've got somewhere to put the nectar. Some brood. We're looking for the queen as well. So the queen is got a green dot on her back. Oh, yeah. So this is absolutely jam packed with nectar. I think the queen is going to struggle soon. So I may have to put a super on top after all. Even though they're not filling the box per se, these guys are just so good at collecting nectar and honey. They've just filled up the whole brood area with it. Oh, bother. Found a queen cell. And that one is a queen cell. And I've not seen any eggs yet. So I'm just going to do a quick look, see if I can find the queen. Oh, it's not what we want. But they could be doing this because they've got such little space due to all the nectar. So if I find the queen, what I might do is something called checkerboarding. Got a brood box, yeah, I do. There's another queen cell there. There's a few queen cells, look at that, right there. There's one there. So they've definitely made their decision to swarm. Come on, guys, bugger off. I don't mind it when they're on the back of my hands, but when they're flying in the crook of your hand, then you've got trouble. Okay, so not seeing the queen, not seeing any eggs. So my thoughts is that this has actually swarmed. Or they've killed the queen off. Can't tell. Because the colony hasn't really shrunk in size. So I'm just going to do another last check, make sure I can see if I can see the queen. Or see some eggs, maybe. The benefit of seeing eggs is that you can... So there are eggs. So there's eggs in here. So that means I can knock the cells down. That means that the queen should be in here, unless she's only just been seen off. There's only a few eggs though. Not seeing any more. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I think, I'm going to checkerboard them. Because the queen has a bright green dot on her back, so I should be able to see her. So I think they've started making queen cells and they've seen her off. Same as they did with the... Oh no, there she is. There she is. There's the queen. Okay, so the queen is there. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to do something called checkerboarding. First of all, I'm going to get her. I'm going to stick her in a cage, just so I know where she is. I know she's safe. So checkerboarding doesn't... This is a type of checkerboarding, it isn't the checkerboarding method. Checkerboarding method is something that happens in early spring. I tried that and it didn't work very well. So I tried a different method to try and knock the swarm response out of the bees. So when a colony is this small, they don't particularly want to swarm. They will swarm, they'll happily swarm, but they don't particularly want to. So from my experience anyway, this could be completely different to other people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake all the bees off and take all the queen cells out, ruin them, and then I'm going to get another brood box and I'm going to replace an empty frame, possibly a dirty frame as well to give the bees more to do. And I'm going to put it so it's original frame, empty frame from the brood box, original frame, empty frame, original frame, empty frame. And what I'm doing is, in essence, stop trying to sting me. I'm creating that extra space between the brood, and the bees will have this massive cavity to fill. They're like, whoa, we can't swarm. There's so much space in here. The queen needs to fill this up, so they'll start moving the nectar away, and hopefully it'll work out like that. Or they could swarm. But in knocking the queen cells down, that gives me another 2 weeks before she tries to swarm. So this is how I do something called checkerboarding. It's not the checkerboarding method, but this is just a way of sort of, it works 50-50 in essence on stopping a swarm response from bees. Sometimes when bees have decided that they want to swarm, there's nothing that's going to stop them from swarming. So this is just a try to get that response. So got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames. So in essence what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 frames out of this and I'm going to put it in there, and then I'm going to take the frames that I took out of there and replace these ones. And in essence, and hopefully they're going to be different steps as well. So where the original frame, so the frame from the original hive, like this one, is going here, I'm going to be putting an empty frame on the bottom box there. So what we're wanting is, we're wanting steps, we're wanting lots of space suddenly. So the bees get shocked out of that swarming response, and they want to fill up this box as much as possible before they want to swarm again. So that's the plan. It works sometimes, as I said, it's 50-50 chance it'll work, but it's giving myself another 7 days to deal with this situation. We'll see how it goes. There we go. Ooh. So that was just a frame full of nectar. So it's good to put frames with nectar on. So these ones at the end here, in the upper box, because that's where it would naturally be in a hive. So this is actually honey that they've put in. So I'm going to stick that in the box as well. Oh, let's try to kick that spider out, because we don't want it eating our bees. Excuse me. Go away. Right. That could have been tragic if I put the queen in there. Right. So that's got brood in it. It's got some nectar in. So because I've got the queen, I don't particularly care about these queen cells. I want to knock them down, get rid of them, not worry about it. So that's where they're going. Shake these off. So there's not enough bees in this to fill 2 brood boxes. So there's going to be far too few bees to fill this cavity. That is hopefully going to be one of the reasons why they don't swarm. There you are. So this box is now full. So I don't know if you can see just from the colour change. So we've got nasty frame, original box frame, nasty frame, original box frame, nasty frame, original box frame, nasty frame. I call them nasty because they've been in storage and they've gone a bit mold, so the bees need to clean them up. Original storage, so as you can see, it's one and the other. And in this box here, I've got all the frames that I took out of there originally behind me, and I'm going to start placing them in here. I'm going to shake these off to make sure there's no queen cells on the frame, then I'm going to put a frame next to it. That's nasty. And I don't know if you can see that, so that's original frame, that's nasty frame, whereas this one, that's nasty frame and that's original frame. See how they're going to be put on top of each other and they're going to be opposites, they're going to be like diagonal. Anyway, that's why it's called checkerboarding. Shake this off. Look, queen cells, there's one there in that corner. Whoop, that's gone. Oh, someone asked, why do you always have to squash queen cells if the bees have decided that they want to make them? So the reason you do it is because when they decide they want to make queen cells, a lot of the times you're unprepared. You don't realise that it's going to happen until you find them, and then you have to deal with that situation. So you knock them down, because then you only knock them down if there's brood in here. So if there's eggs and larvae that they can produce another queen cell on, that's when it's fine to knock them down. If the queen is gone and there's no other larvae or anything like that, you knock all but one down. Or you save one and make a nuke out of it. And that's just a way of hedging your bets. But you knock them down just to give yourself some more space, more time to think, some more time to figure out how to deal with the situation best, or even just get the equipment, because a lot of beekeepers run on a very low amount of equipment that they've got. Oh, me included, compared to a lot of other beekeepers, commercial beekeepers anyway. So I don't need to look for the queen because she's in my pocket, so I can just start hooking these out. That was an empty one, that was weird. That's gone. These have gone. But you need to make sure that you've got every queen cell, because there's no point in doing all this if you miss one, because then she'll just swarm. Giant space or not. Okay, so put another one in. Hope you can see the difference there. So original frame, nasty frame, 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 original frame. See? So it's going to be, oh, this is heavy with honey. Yes, this is filled with honey. So what I might do actually is I might find an empty one from here. Yeah, put that in. Just to give them a bit more space in the brood area. The bottom area is always the brood area, because bees always store the honey at the top and the sides of a colony. That's empty. Okay. So, original frame, nasty frame, original frame. Oh, and this frame won't fit. This is a problem with buying different frames from different places. So, a bellow frames seem to be thinner. So I don't know if you can see the difference between these here. So I'll get this out. Yeah. So if you look at the difference between these two. This is from, can't remember where this is from actually. I think it might be Maysmore. This is a bellow. So the difference in size of the top bar, as you can see, there's a fair bit of difference. What, 5 mil? So sometimes you'll get 12 frames in these boxes if you use a bellow, and sometimes you'll only get 11 if you're using something like that. The frame sizes should be standardised, and I think technically they are, but for some reason a bellow and these places don't stick to the same tune. Right, so a lot of the bees have come outside because they were getting thrown about, so I'm just going to shove these in. They'll make their way into the hive. Most of them can fly, so, and you can't see the entrance. The entrance is absolutely full here, so they are making their way back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that they're not on the edge, so I don't crush anyone. I'm going to place this box on top. So I hope that explains checkerboarding. So we've got a nasty frame here, and we've got a new frame here. And then new frame here, nasty frame here, and they're going to be opposites, in essence, zigzagging. And that extra space in here should knock the bees out of the swarm response, because they've got so few bees, or they'll think that they've got so few bees in such a massive box that they don't need to swarm. Right, I'm going to release Queenie. There she is. There she is. There's Queenie. Come on. Out you come. This queen is really doolally. Look at her. There she is on my finger. She just... Other queens would be running around or trying to get away or doing something. She's just sort of sat there. No effort. Anyway, I'll be replacing her when my new queens that I've started breeding have come to age and have been mated well. This is the difference then. Right, that's that one done. So I'm not expecting much from this colony. I keep saying that and I keep coming across swarm cells. So I'm going to try and be quick. So the bees have only filled up half this super, but they are cleaning the rest of it. As you can see, they've got honey in it, but they are going through the nasty frames. Get out. Oh, I saw that one do that then. Ouch. So that's going to be the alarm response going off. So if you get stung like that, remember, smoke yourself. Smoke the air, but chances are it'll do nothing because the bees are flying around, they don't care. Smoke the hive, smoke yourself. The bees that are flying around should ignore you if you smell smoke. Also, blowing smoke on your sting stops the sting from hurting as much. Right, so they are collecting honey. So what I'm going to do is, these frames here are full of honey. These ones are still being worked on. As you can see, they are quite clean actually, looking at them. They've done a pretty good job. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to checkerboard this one, but with the honey. So a way of getting bees to draw out frames or to use frames is by doing that. So one that's being used, you put one that's just foundation, an old foundation. I need to clean that one out. And then you get one that's used, one that's being ignored. That smoker is really going for it. That's being used. That's being ignored. So one that's being used. Whoop. One that's being ignored. One that's being used. One that's being ignored. And because all of these frames are drawn out, I'm going to space them out. So what that means is the bees will draw out as they put more honey in. They'll draw it out to create bee space between the frames, and in doing that, it creates a lot more comb that you can use a knife on. So I've had a look through there. That's just honey. So I'm going to take this off. I'm not too worried about getting the queen out yet. I do that when it's coming to the last 2 weeks or so of the flow. I shake all the bees out, and then what happens is you let the brood all emerge, if there is any brood in the supers, and then the bees fill up any brood area that the queen can't get to with nectar. So I'm not expecting these guys to swarm because I've got space in the super. So that's nectar. Oh, that really hurt, that one on my wrist. Ouch. I've got a little spider, go on. Give him a bit of a smoke. Calm down. Whoop, 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 whoop. Nectar. I give these guys another super just to keep them entertained. So there's eggs in here, loads of eggs. Yes, queen's doing all right. So she is a red queen, so she may want to swarm at some point, but I don't think she's got the space nor the bees to do it yet. Of course, I've been proven wrong time and time again. If you are watching my videos, these bees are angry. I have to do the whole between my legs thing for the smoker, which is really annoying because I get a face full of smoke. Yeah, loads of brood, loads of larvae. Yeah, loads of young larvae as well. So this queen has just started hammering out the eggs, which is good. That's what we want. Oh, bugger off. So the queen's got a red dot on her back, or she should do anyway. So it should be relatively easy to see. So these guys are actually running out of space in the bottom box. Go away. You? So what I might do is actually, instead of giving them... Ow. Oh! Oh, that one hurt. Right between the fingers. Ouchie. Oh. Yeah, these guys are stingy as well. Oh. Oi, 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 oi. Oh. Ouch. Let's keep going. Oh, so there's quite a lot of nectar in here that's blocking up the brood area. The queen is making do with it. She's going around it because this is laid up as well. Stop stinging me. So the angry hive didn't sting me, but the other hives, oh, that's annoying. So this whole side is covered in nectar. Not seen any queen cells though. Oh, he says that. Queen cup? Queen cup. So I've seen a queen cup, but not a queen cell, fortunately. Oh. So what I'm going to do is definitely give these guys a bit more room. Okay. Do a quick shake, just make sure. Yeah. Yes, this queen is just laying wherever she can get the chance, so I'm going to give her a bit more room. I'm going to put a brood box on top, because why not? Oh, go get one. This is a particularly gross box. Oh, but the bees will clean it up pretty fast. So slugs, goo on it and all sorts. I'll be fine. Got a dead spider on it. I think it's dead. Yeah, dead spider. So yeah, it's got all sorts of grossness, but that should keep them entertained. And more importantly, once it's been cleaned up, the queen more space to lay. Yeah, so it's just manky. It'll be fine though. The bees clean it up really fast. Go away. What I'm going to do though is I'm just going to try and get rid of some of this cobwebs, because the last thing I want is for the queen to get caught in a cobweb. Go away. Go away. So there you are. The bees can deal with a bit of cobweb in the hive. As I said previously, they're pretty much designed to deal with cleaning up hives. That's what they do when they swarm. They swarm off somewhere. They find somewhere that's possibly already been a hive, and then they clean up the cells of the old hive. Right. I need you to keep going because I've got a few more to do. Oh, you're reaching the end of your life. It's not good. Right, so this is the queen from one of the big hives over there. They were trying to swarm, so I locked them off with the queen excluder. Found which one had the queen in, and then I moved the box. So, queen is in here somewhere. I didn't find her, but you don't really have to, as long as it's eggs. Queen will be in here somewhere. That's full of nectar. This queen is awesome, to be fair. The bees were quite nice. I don't know how they're going to be today. Well, we'll see. So this is fully laid up. Loads of larvae, loads of eggs. Wowee. Yeah. I think This queen is going to be the next breeder queen. The pattern's not amazing, but she's getting old. I think she's a redback, so she was from last year. She might be the year before that, actually, thinking about it. So, yeah. I can't imagine there being any swarm cells because a lot of the bees have gone. There's loads of room in here. A lot of the flying bees flew back. They're generally the ones that start the process of wanting to swarm. And last one to look. Yeah, so this is absolutely jam-packed with eggs. Oh, there's the queen. There she is, right on the edge. There. Whoop. Come here, Queenie. You are incredible. There she is on my fingers. Can you see her? Absolutely huge queen she is. Or do I attempt to bring her over to you guys so you can see her, or do I not? So yeah, so this is one of my queens. I can tell from the markings, and I can tell from the paint pen. I used a pastel red on her. There she is on my hand. She's absolutely huge. I don't know if you can see that compared to my little finger. So if you look at her compared to the other queens that you've seen, this queen is huge. She's an absolute star. I'm going to leave you to it. I think you're doing great, love. I will find you again later on in the year, and you will make me some new queens. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. She's awesome. I've seen the queen. She's happy and she's healthy. She's huge. Yeah. Don't forget the dummy board. Probably my favourite queen of the year. Thinking about it. Right. Got half an hour to go through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colonies. Whoa. Need to hurry up. So these guys haven't expanded at all. Don't know what's going on here. Oh, why aren't you guys expanding? You're filling that up with honey, so at least you're doing something bee-like, but you're not expanding. Let's have a look at the bottom box. Everyone's so angry today. Go away. Stop trying to sting me. Go on. What's the weather? I don't see any brood from here. Maybe you're queenless. That would explain why you're grumpy or why you've not got any bigger. Go away. Ah, yeah. Flip. Oh, right in the tip. Of my finger. Oh, I can't get it out. There we go. Ouch. Right in the tip of my finger. Ouchie. Stick my finger in the bloody hole. Ah. Oh, it's going to look good when I go to the christening later. My hand's going to be swollen up. So that's a load of pollen. Don't actually see any. Are there any eggs? Oh, there are eggs. Okay, so there are eggs. So there's a queen there. Maybe she's. So. Yeah, there's eggs in there. Loads of eggs. So she's laying up like crazy. I wonder if she took a brood break during the dearth. And that's why all of these are older, grumpy bees. Which would explain it. Also explain why there's so much nectar coming in. I'm just going to leave her. She's doing alright, fine. Give her a couple of weeks and see if they've expanded with the new nectar flow. Colony's too small to swarm, definitely. And that there is the nuke I made from a queen cell that I found over there. So I'll give it a quick look. Last week I noticed that she had some eggs. So this week I'm going to see if those eggs are worker brood or not. So it was a really small nuke, so they're not that big at all. I don't think these will get very big until They're in the air. They are collecting nectar though. There's food around the edge, so they are getting food, so that's good. They don't need a lot because they're only a small colony. Yeah, so the larvae, there's the queen, I marked her, she's there. So the larvae there, should have been enough time for them to start capping some of this brood, I think. I was wrong. Anyway, she's laying, there's big larvae, looking good. Nothing really to say until I can see the cappings. Right, next. This colony's been going from strength to strength. Let's see if it needs another super. So the bees are at the top. Not sure if they're filling these out. Just give them a second to calm down. Smoker is going out, so I need to just be a bit careful with it. It's very hot. So. Come on. You guys were lovely the other day. So I think that these guys are getting pretty full. That might be why they're getting grumpy. I'll put another brood box on. I'll open this brood box up, have a look inside. That's full to the brim with nectar and honey. Wow, look at that. Absolutely full. So I think these guys must be running out of space, are they? That's full frame of cap brood and nectar all around the edges and wherever the brood is hatched. So I think that this queen is starting to run out of space because the bees are pushing her down. Now the bottom box, if I remember rightly, last time was quite empty. And this is full of larvae. Can't quite see if there's eggs. It's too dark. It's a dull day today. At least the rain stopped. It's hot and humid today. This is a full frame of brood and nectar. No eggs as I can see yet. Lots and lots and lots. So this whole area is larvae. So there's little queen cups on the bottom. I'm just going to open them up and see. There's no eggs in them, there's no nothing. That's okay. That's full of larvae. See if there's eggs in the next one. I think this queen has run out of space, so what I'll do is I might stick another brood box underneath this one. Oh, there's loads of eggs in this one. Whoa, loads of eggs. That is a huge, huge, huge amount of eggs. Wow. So all of that is eggs. Got some larvae here, and these are some cap drone brood, which look like they're on the cusp of being ready. Wow, that's a lot of eggs. Okay. Can't see the queen. As I said, this colony is a monster. Not quite sure why it's being so grumpy though, unless it's just got a lot of flying bees and maybe the weather is stopping them from getting out. So flying bees are the ones that get you. They're the older ones, the grumpy ones. It's full of eggs as well. Not seeing any queen cells. Okay. So flying bees are the ones that get you. The younger bees don't get you. So when you're dealing with like nucleus colonies that you've just built after a few days, if it's in the same colony and the flying bees have buggered off, you can generally handle them without a veil because they don't fly, they don't do anything to upset you, they don't try and get you. They're just happy to be around the queen, or happy to be around the queen cell rather. There's lots of queen cups, so they are complaining a bit. But this is absolutely jam-packed full of eggs and brood. So yeah, I'm going to give them another brood box. Move this over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a brood box underneath this one, because this one's got quite good frame. So I used Apivar, like, what year was it? I think it was 2001 I used Apivar. That was the biggest mistake I made, because you can't reuse those frames for honey. So any boxes that don't have Apivar written on the lugs, which have been used by Apivar, I tend to use them for honey, or I tend to say to myself that they can be used for honey, so they can be in upper boxes. The next one over there has frames that have Apivar written on them, so they are going in the brood area. So I'll move you here, move things around a little bit, because I don't like supers. So this is one of the dirty supers that's stuck in to be cleaned. As you can see, the bees are all over it. I think they've actually started filling it with honey as well, from the feels of it anyway. Yeah, so they started filling it with honey. And there's brood in the middle as well, I can see. So I'm going to take this off. Like that. Put this one on top of that. And I'll get another brood box to go on there. Oh, I want this queen to make as much brood as possible, because I think she's excellent. Oh. So this is a nasty frame, as you can see. You probably can't see from there, actually. So this is a nasty box, as you can see. Look at all that cobwebs and stuff like that. Some stuff over here that could be wax moth. Anyway, they even got ants, some ants here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all this cobwebs, because I don't want the bees getting caught up in that. But other than that, you can generally just leave them to it, and they'll clear all this away. They'll get rid of these ants, do all sorts. Oh, so just get rid of that. So good way of doing that is getting some grass off the floor and just running it along the top, wherever the cobwebs are. Just brushing it away. Oh, right. Give this a quick blow. Come on, girls, move out the way. This is quite hot now. Ah, ants. It's stung by ants as well. Ow. So I don't think the queen's gone down here yet. She might have a few frames of brood. That's just full of nectar. So I like the bottom box to have a lot of space. Oh, where's me? There it is. So I like the bottom box to have a lot of space, because when foragers come back from foraging, they literally just spit everything into the cells as close to the front door as possible, as you can see here. And they then just go back out and fly off. They don't care about the nectar. They wait for the bees that are inside. This is full of, whoa, this is full of brood. Wowee. They just wait for the bees that are inside the hive, the caretaker bees, to go and move it for them. They're a bit lazy. Well, they're not lazy, they're off flying, they've got other jobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this empty box on top here. So the bees will come up, they'll clean these frames off, and the queen will start laying. And then what they'll do is turn this one, that has brood in it, into a honey super, in essence. And then they can't complain, because they've got more space and you can shake a stick at. Whew. I'm not sure bees can shake sticks, but yeah, right. So these guys are doing great. I'm really happy with them. Whew. This is what I want my colonies to be. So this is the one where that queen over there came from. So the one that you just saw, and it was big and juicy and lovely. They decided to swarm because they started running out of space, I think. So what I did was I took her out, and they didn't have any more frames of brood, so I only put one frame of brood in. So it means that's where all the queen cells are going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, because it's been a week. these bees will only have had one frame to turn into a queen. Oh, that is heavy honey super. Oh, I swear some honey is heavier than others. They're cleaning this frame up quite well and storing honey in, from what I can see, so that's good. Oh. Plonk. They're cleaning this frame up as well. Well, this box up as well. I'm going to have a quick look. Yes, storing some nectar and honey in there as well. Right. And then the frame that had the brood in was this one here. I made an X on it. So I'm just going to give them a quick blast to budge them away, because I don't want anyone to get hurt. And what I'm going to do is take a frame out here and then budge across, because the last thing I want to do is lift this up, and if there's a queen cell, to pull it up and damage it. So, because this is going to be where they get their queen from now. And you know what? It was a good queen, so I'm happy for them to produce a queen from this one. Whoa. So this frame is full of nectar and drone brood, and lots of pollen actually, so that's a pretty good frame to put next to the queen cells. But it's done. So, quick look, won't be any queen cells, there wasn't any eggs or larvae. Budge over, watch out. Slowly make my way to this frame. Jump off. Yeah, there's no queen cells or anything like that, it's just full of nectar. Because as I said, the bees, the foragers come in, and as soon as they come in, they just spit out the nectar into the first cells that they can see, and they go offline again. Ah! How did that get me? It flew up my sleeve. Okay. Oh. Anyone who says that being stung doesn't hurt is lying. Right, so this should have some queen cells, which it does, and I can see them right now. So I'll just put my hand in the way. So these are capped queen cells here. So what I'm looking for, what I'm trying not to do is I'm trying not to move the frame about too much. If you shake a frame that's even got queen cells like that, it still can be pretty bad. So what I'm looking for though is I'm looking for some one of the cells which looks the best. That one looks too stubby. Tell you what, I'll try and get these bees off. I'll bring it closer. So we have 3 queen cells there to choose from. They're pretty good cells from the looks of it. They are emergency cells because they're in the middle of the comb. So that's why they're called emergency cells, because they've had to make these because the queen's gone. Out of these 3 cells, that one looks very stubby. I don't like the look of that one. That one looks fine, but this one looks like it's pretty decent formed. It doesn't have the look of an elongated cell like where the larvae had fallen. Looks pretty big and juicy, so I would choose either of these 2 here. Either of them is fine by me. Get rid of this one first. So they are getting quite close to being finished, so decide which one. So my first choice would be that one, because it's longer and it looks like it's a pretty juicy queen. But this one looks like it's normal sized, so I don't think I'd be losing anything. So it's a win-win situation in essence. I'm going to choose that one. Yeah, there you are. So that's the queen. That's going to be our new queen. I'll check, make sure that there's no other cells on it, but that is it. So that is our queen. I'm going to close it up and leave it for 2 weeks now. She'll emerge and hopefully go off and get mated. When she comes back, she'll have a hive absolutely full of bees wanting to help her produce the best brood ever. So, will you guys stop trying to sting? You're not trying to sting me, you're just investigating me, but still, it's annoying. Yeah, I'm just giving it another quick look, making sure, but that is the only queen cell that's in here. So, I'm going to push that closed gently, if I can. So we don't want to hurt that cell, because that cell is on this frame here. What will happen is that queen will emerge, bees will feed her, clean her up, help her get settled, and then after a week or so she'll go out flying, and then she'll hopefully get mated, and once she's mated she'll come back, and all the nectar and stuff like that that's in the bottom box will be moved upwards and turned into honey in that time. But these bees don't need any more space right now because they don't have a queen laying up yet. Right, finally these two. So there was a virgin queen in both of these. I think I saw the virgin queen in that one, but she hadn't started laying, and I haven't seen the virgin queen in this one. So what I'll need to do is look for eggs. That's all I'm looking for. I don't care about finding the queen, I just want to find eggs. If there's no eggs, then at this point there could be an issue. So it means that I need to think about putting a frame of brood in here for the bees to create another queen of their own. So let's take some of these frames out that don't have bees on. They have a slug on. Warp. Ooh. Right, so there's bees on this frame. Any eggs? Nope, just nectar and pollen. That's fine. Not expecting to be anything on that one yet. We have... Do we have eggs? I think we've got eggs. I think we've got eggs. It's hard to see because there's so little light at the moment. So we have one egg. There's not a lot of eggs. Push out the way. So there's a few eggs there as well. So it's not a huge amount of eggs. So it sounds like there could be a queen. Let's have a look, see if we can see her. Probably not. She's not laid that much, then she won't have a engorged abdomen. We'll see. That could just be because it's an outside one. I'm just having a quick look for her actually. Let's see her. So there's some more eggs here, I think. Yeah, some more eggs here. There's a single egg at the very bottom of the cell, so that indicates that it's an actual queen and not laying workers. Yep, so there's eggs here as well. So she's gone onto each frame. I've made a little patch of eggs. That's fine. But it means that she's come back, at least. And whether she's mated well or not, we won't know until there's cappings. If it comes out like a big bump, that is drone broods. The chances are that she's not mated well. If it's flat, then it means that it's worker brood, which means that she has mated well enough to produce workers. You only find out after 3 weeks or so whether a queen is super good or not, because that's when the laying pattern comes in. That's 3 weeks after she's returned, by the way, not in total. I'm seeing if I can see her. If I can see her, then I'll mark her. But I'm glad this is queen right anyway for now. Let's see what she's like. If she's anything like the Buckfast queen I took her from, she'll have a bright orange bum. This is just nectar. Got some eggs in it, I guess. So, oh, there she is. Found her. She's right there. Right in the corner there. You can barely see her, probably. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to get her into the centre a bit. Keep my eye on her. So she doesn't actually look like a Buckfast. She looks kind of like a mongrel to me. She's got the orange of a buckfast and the black tip. But if you look, there's those black lines going across. So yeah, there she is. That's good. So she's come back from being mated anyway. Look at these wasps are already back. Buggers. It's not that time of year yet, lads. Well, ladies, actually. Right now, wasps are looking for protein to feed the larvae. Then after that, it comes autumn, and that's when wasps are an absolute nightmare. Right then, mule cocker. Just put some ink on you. Stay still. I don't want to squid you. I swear these queens are getting more wriggly. Right, there we are. She's marked green. Give her a few minutes to let it dry. Ciao, love. I know you want to get back to it. She seems quite good, actually, from the looks of it. She looks quite... If you look at the difference between her and that buckfast imported queen from before, you'll see the difference on how she's got more energy, how she wants to crack on and get stuff done. Whereas that buckfast over there was just like sat on my hand like and bored. Right. You know what, love? I'm actually going to move stuff around in your hive just to give you a bit more space to lay in. So these frames on the outside that are being ignored for now, I'm going to put them checkerboard again, in the middle, just because they're putting too much nectar in and she just doesn't have the room to lay. She's laying wherever she can, so I'm just going to checkerboard this again. Hey, I didn't think you'd be seeing so many checkerboards. I certainly didn't think I'd be doing so many. And then, crack that. There's a few frames here as well, actually, so. Nearly. And all I need to do is find a queen in that one, or eggs, and then we are done for the day. And I can go home, get a shower, and go to my best friend's kids' christening. Right, Queenie, there we go. There she is, and there she goes. Right, on to the last one, and then we're gone. Oh! Right, my smoker has officially died. Ugh, I think. Oh no, still going. Just. So let's hope these guys aren't particularly stingy. Anyway. There we go. Right. That's colony. Take these frames out so it makes it easier. Okay. So it's good, there's nectar in there. Don't see any eggs yet, but that's fine. I wasn't expecting any eggs yet. Oop, he fell out. Huh. Can I see eggs? Ah, go away. I'm seeing if I can see the queen, because if she's anything like her sister next door, she was quite bright. The orange was quite bright. The black made her like disappearing with all the other bees, but it was a very bright bum. Right, I don't see the queen, so I'm just going to see if I can see eggs. If you ever need them to move, just blow on them. They dislike human breath. Or maybe they just don't like my breath. I don't know. Yeah, there's loads of eggs. Whoa, I just realised. Whoa, so this one is laying up well. That is good. Doubt I'll be able to see her, but we'll see. Go on, watch out. Ooh. Oh, wow. Yeah, there she is. Found her straight away. Yeah, so this one looks exactly like the mum. So this looks like a proper buckfast. I'll show you now. Come on. No. Up you get. Where are you going? Your girlies are bugging me. Badumtish. Right, so watch out for trip hazards, everybody. So you'll see the difference. Any second here. So if you look at her, she's bright orange with a black tip. So that is what I would say is pretty textbook buckfast, or rather the buckfasts that I have dealt with anyway. They always seem to be bright orange bum with a black tip. And you can see the difference between that one and the other one. Both came from the same mum, so it just shows the difference in genetics. But yeah, she's lovely. That's a lovely buckfast looking queen. Now there is some, she's technically an F2 buckfast because her mum was an F1 buckfast. So you have the purest line, which is F0. Then you've got open mated, so where they've gone off and mated with a random drone that wasn't buckfast, or may be buckfast, may not be buckfast. There's no way of controlling it, so they call them F1s. And then you've got F2s, which is what this one is, where the mum was an F1 buckfast, so has most of the buckfast genes, and the dad was absolutely any old drone, really. Could be a mongrel, could be anyone. So that's why they're called F2s. So supposedly F2 buckfasts can be a bit grouchy and can be a bit aggressive. Personally, I've never had that, never noticed. They've just been normal bees to me. I don't know if that's because I deal with a lot of mongrels, and a lot of mongrels, they aren't particularly aggressive per se. They just look after the hives a lot better than I think. They're a bit more forthcoming with the butt dagger than a lot of buckfasts are. But to me, I put my head in the headspace as best I can. It's a stupid thing to do because they're not humans, so they don't have the same thought processes as us. But I think to myself, if some idiot came into my house dressed as a spaceman and started lifting up the roof and throwing me and my brothers and sisters around, I'd probably be a bit annoyed as well. So I don't take offence by them being a bit aggressive sometimes. I just think to myself, well, it's my own bloody fault. I think if you want to be guaranteed not to get stung, the best thing to do is just not be a beekeeper, because I think even the best beekeepers in the world get stung. Even the bee god, Michael Palmer, I'm pretty sure he's had a few stings in the past. There's the queen, there she goes, off she goes to hopefully turn this into a big colony for summer. We'll see. Right, I'm going to put a thing on and go home. Right. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to see more and possibly think about liking it. If not, then I hope you have a really good day. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.